This is Joseph Coco. I'm at Free Comic Book Day 2015 on behalf of Becca Hilburn's Art Process blog. Keep on trucking, Natto Soup. If you could introduce yourself, Sam.
Yes, I'm Sam Payne.
Okay, and what brings you to Rick's Comic City today?
I've known Rick for a really long time. We actually started out doing comics about the same time. Rick, a lot of people don't know, is quite the artist. That's a hidden secret.
Okay.
But yeah, we worked on an anthology book years ago together, and known Rick ever since. I've always frequented his comic shop, and about every other comic book day he asked me to be here. So
okay, cool.
I've been lucky enough to do that.
All right, and how did you get started doing the pinup style of art that you're doing now?
Well, that's interesting. In the 90s, I did several books for independent publishers as a penciler, and I found that I didn't really enjoy doing all of the things that I would have to do for a sequential story, but really enjoyed drawing the ladies.
Right.
And more and more I just gravitated towards that and away from the sequential stuff, and I just have fun with it and don't make a living at it, but just enjoy what I do. So
okay, would you consider yourself more of an illustrator at this point then?
I suppose that would be a little more valid.
Okay. I know Nashville has a pretty big print scene here. Have you considered working with some of the local print artists in order to get your pinup illustrations in like a traditional print setting?
Actually, I have not.
Okay. I was just curious because it seems like the style would lend itself to it. You do use a variety of colors, so that might be difficult for certain print styles. But it's beautiful art for sure.
Well, thank you.
Are you working in vector-based, or it's all rasterized images?
All of the prints are done in Adobe Illustrator.
Okay.
And sometimes I will sketch those, scan them in, and use them as a template. Other times I'll just start from scratch and build it completely in Illustrator.
Yeah. And I noticed you were doing quite a few illustrations, traditional media at the show. Is that something that you do frequently at conventions?
Yeah, it took me a long time. When I first started in actual comic books, when I would do a convention, I would say I'm not doing sketches.
Yeah.
Because I don't like to draw in public, and it took me many years to get comfortable enough in my skin, I guess, to draw in public, and
so it was,
I guess not care if anybody
it was
liked
less
it.
about the environment and the mediums and more about just people actually watching you.
Yeah, I really was uncomfortable being watched when I would draw. So.
Yeah, because I know some people say, well, if I'm not in my studio, it can be hard because I need this or I need that, or they rely on digital techniques, and that can be a little bit more difficult to work on the road. But yeah, it's great that I think you working on illustrations at the show probably drew a lot of attention, and I certainly saw a lot of people just flipping through the illustrations. Hopefully, they sold well.
Yeah, it's been a pretty good day.
Okay. So, are you primarily doing fan art? A lot of your pinup illustrations are original characters.
Yeah, a lot of times I will. I will do the occasional Poison Ivy or Princess Leia, but a lot of these will just be my girlfriend and I will sit around in public places and draw random strangers, try not to get caught.
Right.
And that's
exaggerate a few features.
That's where a lot of this comes from. So
yeah.
Poison Ivy was probably somebody maybe sitting at a bar somewhere and turned into Poison Ivy. So a lot of that evolves like that. And then as far as the prints go, this one was something that was done for James, who works for Rick. His band, Oliver Twitch, he wanted a t-shirt design and gave me roughly a robotic girl that doesn't know she's a robot is about the only direction, and that's what I came up with.
Yeah.
These two are based loosely on ponies.
I can see that.
This is based loosely on Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
So...
just wherever inspiration comes from at the time. Yeah. Do you have your works compiled into a book, or you're selling strictly original illustrations and prints?
I do have
other than Pop Tarts.
Yeah, that's it. The one self-published one is all that I have.
Yeah. All right, and what type of shows do you do other than Free Comic Book Day, or is this the primary event? I know you said it's not like a primary revenue stream for you.
Not at all. But yeah, it's my fun time.
Okay.
I've done several local shows over the past year.
Right. You mentioned Akai-Con, so you've tried a few anime conventions.
Yeah, actually, that was my first one after I had the book published, and I've done a couple of the local shows that Mark Ballard puts on, things like that. So I've pretty much kept it local. When I was working, I went all over the place and went to cons and things like that, mainly to get work more than to be a guest artist.
Yeah, I get it. So how did you, does your process change when you're working at a show versus when you're producing illustrations at home? Or are you using mostly the same media and...
I'll use basically the same media. I may put a little more into it when I don't have someone waiting for it as a commission, so to speak. You've got to cram a lot into a little bit of time when you're doing sketches at a con or at a Free Comic Book Day type show or something like that. So.
Yeah. And did you have a lot of people requesting their favorite characters, or mostly people were just buying things that you had already done?
A little bit of both. I sold a few things I'd already done and did several requests as well. So
okay.
A good mix, which is how you want it to be.
Right. That way you're not pressed at the end of the day to pump out a bunch of commissions and people waiting around for long periods of time when they weren't expecting to be at Free Comic Book Day all day.
Ideally, you'll already have something they want.
Yeah, that speaks to them. But I know a lot of artists who say, I do prints or I have some originals up, but I don't necessarily expect them to sell. I expect someone to say, oh, can you do this? And I end up just taking a commission at the show. But that can definitely wreck your hand trying to crank out as many commissions as possible at a show.
It certainly can.
Okay, would you have any advice to someone who's planning on attending their Free Comic Book Day at their local, either in Nashville or their respective city?
As an artist?
Yes, as an artist tabling for the first time.
Say just go expecting to have fun, expecting to meet a lot of nice people, see a lot of cool stuff, see a lot of costumes, and just make it fun. And if you make a little money while you're at it, all the better.
All right. And where can we find your work online?
You can find my work online at pop-tarts.squarespace.com.
All right.
Tarts is with a Z.
We can purchase your prints there and your book as well.
You can do that.
All right.
And you can send me a message and ask for a commission if you like as well.
All right. Sounds great.
Always glad to do that.
Sam.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Have a good Free Comic Book Day.